Hello, everyone. I'm Keith Garvin. Welcome to Something Good. Hope we find you happy and healthy.
And I'm Christine Noel. During the next hour, you will get to see some of the best that humanity has to offer.
Your caring gestures have made it easy to find good news, and we appreciate you for that.
And every act of kindness should be celebrated, and that's what we intend to do in this show. Graham
media stations such as ours are proud of the work you are doing, so proud that we made a show all about it.
Yeah, journalists from all 6 Graham stations have chronicled acts of kindness across the country.
To kick things off, we start with the front lines, those brave souls who are stepping up to keep America as safe as possible.
Hospitals in every city have been flooded with COVID-19 cases, and doctors and nurses have not backed down.
They've stood toe-to-toe with the disease, putting their own health on the line.
Chances are you've seen stories of these heroes.
But maybe you haven't seen what it's really like for frontline workers.
Some of their sacrifices are obvious, but there's more to it than you'd imagine.
Patients everywhere. They've kept us going, healthcare workers, many sharing what that's meant for them, the hours, the risk, the race. Images from the hospital, be they moments of truth, tell one side of what fighting on the front lines has meant for our healthcare workers. This tells the other.
You know, the excitement on her face, getting to see her for the first time in a while, I missed the heck out of her, and, it was obvious it was the other way around.
Meet Marie McSwain, mom to little Elizabeth. That's her giggling. She's mom.
So my mother-in-law graciously offered to watch her, and so she had been over there for a little over a week, and I got to come home one day. And so I asked if I could just stop by and kind of window shop and see her.
So you referred to it as a little window shopping. Stop.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, there's not much else we can do.
Is what it is for now. Elizabeth had a lot of catching up to do.
She wanted me to come inside. It was just a lot of hi and I love you and big kiss.
They video conference too. That way, Dad can join. That's Sergeant Michael McSwain to you and me. Sergeant McSwain is stationed at Fort Sill in Oklahoma. Sacrifice this mom, dad, little daughter too. But Maria doesn't want you to feel bad. No. If anything.
We really are happy to do it. We just need you to keep your behind at home. Just stay home. Don't make this any longer or more drawn out than it has to be.
The sounds are still the same. But what Ada Claudio is making is a lot smaller than her usual batch of boat cushions.
It's really different because the material is lighter.
She's making masks, one of about a handful of people here at Correct Crafts Nautique Boat Factory.
They're staying local right here.
Nautique President Greg Malone explained how the factory is ramping up and set to take in a special kind of fabric so they can make masks that can handle what healthcare workers here in Central Florida need day in and day out.
In this case, we have capabilities that not everybody has, so we're happy to share those for the greater good and hopefully make a difference.
Differences large and small in a fight to keep a wave of illness out of Central Florida.
If we can help with something else, we will.
Keeping several hundred visually impaired workers on the job at the Lighthouse for the Blind would be difficult were it not for what they're doing now.
We're making hundreds of thousands of uniforms as well as hundreds of thousands of chin straps for the helmets for the Army and the Air Force.
As well as uniforms for the National Guard units activated in response to the current crisis.
The Department of Defense, the Pentagon, and Homeland Security has determined and designated us as not only essential but critical.
From floral scissors to fabric ones, Miss You Flowers has transformed their typical work environment to meet the current demand.
We've had hundreds of requests for masks to be made.
Helen Crozen's family is one example. Crozen has asthma and chronic bronchitis, and she cares for her 82-year-old mom.
I have to have income, and I'm an essential employee because we sell groceries and medications and cleaning supplies.
All while parenting 2 daughters who are doing what they can to spread peace and love.
Thank you.
Like you see here. Speaking of love, the feeling was real. After searching nonstop,
At least 12 plus places for masks and gloves. And it's been difficult to find anything.
Crozen was finally able to connect with Miss You Flowers for her mask.
I am extremely thankful because I've needed this for work, because I'm a cashier and I'm in direct contact with the public on a daily basis.
We've certainly seen video of doctors and nurses and first responders, healthcare workers in every way respond to the call of duty. It is tough, dangerous work.
They're placing themselves and their family in harm's way.
Dr. Dennis Lemansky, the chief medical officer for Henry Ford Wyandotte, is himself exhausted to tears.
We have had to place providers off because we were concerned that they were at risk and showing signs. Do you know what they ask? When can I come back to work? When am I safe to come back to work? That's amazing. You know, they dodged a bullet and they want to go back and face the gun again. Come on. That's what healthcare is all about.
In his 40 years as a medical practitioner, he has never seen the pure, concentrated suffering of both patients and healthcare workers who are overwhelmed. And so he's asking for a visible show of support. He's asking that people find white ribbons and tie them anywhere they can.
We put out our white ribbon today to show our support for all of the healthcare workers, the doctors, the nurses, the lab technicians, the janitorial staff, everyone in the hospitals who's putting themselves on the front line every day, that we are thinking about them.
I would hope in the very near future that when there are press conferences from Washington, that we see present white ribbons, either on people's lapels, wherever they feel they can display it best. And it would be really neat to see white ribbons in front of the White House.
People who live near Ninth Street and Belvedere Avenue in the Riverside Avondale area say it's a close-knit community.
Everyone here always has each other's backs.
Especially during this pandemic.
It's kind of nice to know that you have a community there in a crisis.
And at the center of this community, a little free library.
It's a spot where people can come and donate books, or they can come and get books.
The cabinet stands on Blake Burdett's lawn.
It was part of the charm of the house.
Within the past few days, the books have been removed, and the little free library has become a bank.
That sounds good.
Of food.
We realized that the books may be contagious because, you know, people pulling them out, putting them back in. And so we decided maybe filling it with food would make it a little bit more accessible to the public.
Out with the stories, in with the soups.
Right now we've got some ramen, SpaghettiOs, some peanut butter crackers, toilet paper, which is something we've been trying to keep stocked up because that is very popular, some canned vegetables, tuna, pasta, and popcorn. We're filling it up with food so that people who are unable to get to the store or they're in danger of losing their jobs don't have to worry about eating during this epidemic.
Waking up every morning,
making 30 gallons of soup, and then coming over here, banging out lunch, going and buying more product.
Local celebrity chef Jason Dady owns 6 restaurants, so he's used to being busy. But since all San Antonio restaurants have been ordered to close their dining rooms and hotels have been downsizing due to the coronavirus outbreak, his mission has shifted from selling food.
How many you need? 2? What can I get you to drink to start with?
To providing free meals.
We're trying to change the menu every day if we can.
It's for the hotel workers. It's for, anyone who is doing anything in a hotel or a restaurant or a bar. We want to make sure that we're feeding them hot meals every day.
It's being made possible through an emergency fund set up by Culinaria, a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting the hospitality industry.
I haven't been getting no money coming in at all, so this helps us eat lunch and dinner for all my kids.
This is day 5 of the mission, and so far, more than 600 free meals have been served up here at Alamo Barbecue Company on Grayson. Dady says he plans to continue the mission as long as it takes.
Because they're going to need it to, as they start this journey of getting through this.